All right. Let's see, there we go. Sup, ladies and gentlemen, Aklon here, and welcome back to each and one of you. And of course, if you're watching this over on YouTube, please remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also smash the bell. It is always better when it's live, so click the link in the description down below. If you haven't done so already, come follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Aklon. Live when I can be. We, of course, have load shedding again. That's right. Load shedding is back, and this time it's back with a vengeance. Level 4 load shedding. That is always amazing. But yeah, so we have level 4 load shedding, or stage 4 load shedding, which means that I'm off about 3 to 4 times a day for 2.5 hours a pop. We have about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours if we squeeze it, before my power goes out again. So yeah, it's always fun. It's always very, very fun when these things happen. I was already off today. We were off at 12 to 2:30 a.m. and then we were off again from 8:30 until 10:30, or from 8 till 10:30, and then we were off just now from 4 to 6. Literally just came back online, and we'll be off again at like 8. Actually, we have like an hour and a half to stream, and then it's complete darkness again. So always great, always amazing fun. Not gonna lie, I love this. I love for this kind of stuff. I don't know where everyone is. It seems to be just absolute deadness and darkness, which is probably because I haven't streamed in a good few days. Maybe this is the moment. This is the moment that no one shows up anymore. You never know, right? There's always that moment. There's always that moment where it all just goes to shite. Let's do that. That should help bring at least someone in. Grandorius, how you doing, brother? I was beginning to think I'm streaming for myself today. I genuinely was beginning to think I'm streaming for myself. Zane, how you doing, brother? Been waiting for you. Hey, I'm happy to have you here. Tournament, how you doing? Orb, how you doing, brother? Yeah, I do apologize, guys, that I haven't been live. It's been sort of a week of bad luck. Captain Swanky, how you doing? Anon Mephi, how you doing? Here we go. Yeah, indeed. It's been a week. I'm just going to say that. So, on Sunday, Lunari, how you doing? Drillman, holy shit, thanks for the 2 months sub, dude. Really appreciate that. 7 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Seen this matter. I'm very interested in your opinion here. Or rather, both new ones. Hey, I haven't watched the newest one yet, so we'll see. You are knowing you're prepared. We'll see. CDJ, thanks for the 2 months sub, dude. Really appreciate that. 30 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tatiana, how you doing? Tesla, how you doing? Lucius, Babby with the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate all of you. This support is insane. Already starting a hype train. Just like that. Just like that. Holy shit, guys. Don't put too much effort into it. I really appreciate every one of you just coming in, hanging out. We don't have a long time today. Gonna be honest. Fucking hell. All right, that should be fine. Munchik, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're watching the new cinematic. We will be watching the new cinematic in a moment. You guys just have to give me a couple of moments. My power literally just came back on. So as my power came back online, I sat down and I literally instantly started streaming. So I didn't have time to set up the music. I didn't have time to write the notifications. It's been a nightmare. And my power is going out again in about an hour and a half. So we genuinely have like an hour and a half to quickly watch the cinematic, and then I go back to living in darkness. for 2.5 hours, and then I have power for 4 hours, and then I go back to darkness again. And it's been normal since 2008. So yeah, I'd say pretty normal. Last year we had power cuts for, I think, 140 days of the year. Yeah, it's fairly normal. Watch both of them for the full disappointment. Hey, I'll how many cinematics are there? There's the cinematic where we take down Zuval, right? Drenaman, holy shit, thank you for the gifted sub. Did really appreciate that. Thank you. Give me some love in chat for Drenaman and the gifted sub. I really appreciate that. Raid intro and raid finale. All right, so there's 2. Okay, cool. We'll watch both and we'll see. What do you mean, why, Tesla? Oh, you ask me why do we have power cuts? Drakets, how you doing? Okay, so I'll explain it once and hopefully everyone knows it then. So South Africa has been dealing with intermittent power failures or power cuts, or as it's known in South Africa, as load shedding. And it's literally what the word describes. It is load shedding. They're shedding the load from the system because the load is too heavy and the system can't carry it. We've been dealing with load shedding since 2008. And the reason for this is my government used the money that was supposed to go to building new power plants, to upgrading and maintaining the system. They used that money to buy themselves BMWs, Mercedes-Benzes, and to Indian brothers or Pakistani brothers, I think, who were very close friends with the president, became billionaires thanks to this. You know, the power utility would throw luxurious and glorious parties for the government, breakfasts and business breakfasts and things like that. And all of those things were with taxpayer money that was supposed to go to upgrading and maintaining the system. So the system does not have enough electricity at any given point to maintain the lights in South Africa. So what they have is a system called load shedding. Now, load shedding, as it currently stands, lives in Tolnai. Thanks for the prime tip. Did really appreciate that. Welcome officially to the most degenerate chat on Twitch. We are very, very happy to have you here. Thank you very much, bro. Nixie, thanks for the 5 gifted subs. Really appreciate that. You guys are helping a lot. We are currently looking at buying a house so that we can get solar power running so that I don't have to deal with this shit anymore. But I'll quickly show you guys what this looks like. Okay, so there you can see the schedules. This is not today's schedule, but you can see what the scheduling looks like for load shedding. So you can see there's 8 stages, right? You have stage 1, stage 2, all the way to stage 8. In stage 8, as you can see there, right there on the screen, right there. During stage 8, you'll have no power for about 12 hours a day. Now, they've already said that if the Russian-Ukraine war cuts supply to oil in any way, shape, or form, Drenaman, you bastard, thanks for the 5 community subs, did really appreciate that. Holy shit. Love and chat. Nixie, Drenaman, to everyone that is subbing, everyone that is gifting subs, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for giving me your money. I really appreciate it. But they've already said if the supply is at all damaged, they'll have to introduce 3 new stages of load shedding, which will mean we'll have 11 stages of load shedding. And they said that that's going to be called Natalie Frost. Thank you so much. Holy shit. You guys are far too fucking kind. Love and chat for everyone. Why is there an F in chat? Am I out? No, the stream has to work, right? Oh, it sucks. Yeah, it does suck. Can I get a lot of love in chat for everyone? Natalie Frost, every one of you. Thank you so much. I love all of you. Thank you so much for the support. But they've already said that there's 11 stages that's coming. Stage 11 is going to look towards anywhere from 16 to 20 hours a day with no electricity. So you'll basically have 4 hours a day of electricity, and the rest of the time you'll have no electricity. And that's obviously going to happen. I don't see how that won't happen. So yeah, that's what South Africa is all about right now. That is, that's my life. So I'm stealing moments here to stream in, and this is literally a stolen moment. I have about an hour and a half, and that's it. Maria Pigeon, thank you so much for the 5 community subs. Oh my god, you guys are far too fucking kind. Wait, is the stream down? The stream can't be down, right? Holy shit. Are you guys just gonna turn this entire stream into you guys gifting subs? I really appreciate it, MFP. Thank you for the 5 community subs. Really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have considered leaving South Africa. It really... Look, I don't even have the money to buy a house yet. How would I have the money to leave South Africa? It's very expensive, and also which country would I go to? There are no countries that want streamers from South Africa. So, yeah, sadly that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen. Yeah, we're gonna do an hour and a half. I'm gonna try my absolute best to do as much as I fucking can for you guys in the hour and a half, but enough talk. Enough talk. Let it be finished. All right, so I'm assuming I'll have the cinematics at least linked. Jailer intro cinematic, and then Jailer fall. Okay, so you guys want me to react first and foremost to the intro cinematic, is that correct? Shall we react to the intro cinematic first? All right, hold up. Hold the phone. Let me just boost that. Cut that. And then do that. All right. Okay, so this is the Jailer intro. I just want to be clear. I haven't watched any of this, as you guys know. Usually, when these cinematics come out, and I haven't streamed yet, I'll wait for the next stream to do it in. That's why we're doing this very short stream, so that I can at least get something to you guys. I have, however, seen a lot of people very upset. I've even seen a lot of people who used to love WoW very upset. So I'm assuming this is not the best. I'm going to go into it as level-headed as I can. I'm going to try and be as fair as humanly possible, but I do have to acknowledge my biases before we even get into anything else here. Eagle Connoisseur. Holy shit, thanks for the first time chat, dude. Really appreciate that. Let me acknowledge my biases. I believe, before we even go into the cinematic, that Steve Denuser should no longer be in a job. I have tweeted as much, and I will say it loud and proud for as long as Steve Denuser has a job with Blizzard Entertainment. This guy has now been completely, wholly in control of 2 expansions, which is BFA and Shadowlands, the writing and narrative lead thereof. And both of those expansions were an absolute mess. An absolute mess of just conclusions not working, being very confusing. The N'Zoth conclusion was perhaps one of the worst conclusions ever. And before we even continue, let me just quickly see or go on Twitter. Let's go to my profile, because I tweeted something out here, which I think is relevant here. So, Mr. Denuser tweeted the following. I agree about the ending, and as I've been saying in interviews, Shadowlands does have a conclusion. If it seems like I say wait and see a lot, it's because it's difficult to talk in specificity about upcoming story points without spoilers. And I just thought I should tweet out, it certainly does have an ending. It ended literally any interest I had in it, and I've not even watched the final cinematic, because it's true. I have not touched World of Warcraft. I have no interest in playing World of Warcraft. So, yeah, Mr. Denuser, you are correct. It does have an ending. It ended for me, at least. So, okay. With that said, my bias is now on the table. Let's quickly watch this.
Can your mortal minds fathom how long I have waited? Every event event set in motion. Every pawn put into play. All to claim the power slumbering within your world.
Okay, so he wants Azeroth's
Soul
power.
of Azeroth. Wounded, vulnerable, yet teeming with potential. Potential that I will use to eradicate this flawed reality. Death claims the soul of your world.
Yeah.
Now, bear witness, mortals, to eternity's end.
I mean, I genuinely don't have... So, before we even go into it, this wasn't... This, again, is the same as the last cinematic that I've watched from him. It's fine. I've speculated most of these things in the past. This was not hard to see any of this coming to pass. I will say, though, the voice acting for Zuval is absolutely horrible. Horrible. Whoever is mixing this sound is so fucking incompetent. So incompetent. I can barely hear what this fuck is saying over the music. He has this whispery voice. No one taught this Zuval guy, look, if you want to be a bad guy, you have to learn how to project. Like, make sure that everyone in the back is also fucking hearing you when you're speaking. Don't whisper. Like, don't. It makes no sense. You don't need to whisper. The problem with this cinematic, the only thing I can highlight from the cinematic is it leaves me with a feeling of, so what? So I've seen, long have I waited, all the pawns put into play, right? Every event set in motion. The pawns played their part for the power within your world. So he wants the soul of Azeroth. That comes a little out of fucking left field, if you ask me, because all along, he's spoken about domination, right? He wants to dominate the universe. Now suddenly, no. I want the soul of your world because that's the ultimate power. All right, so in other words, the domination of the universe doesn't really matter. Was that just sort of what we were told, even though that's not really what it is? It's confusing, to say the very least, but at the end of it, it leaves me again with that sort of, so what? This is a game, and I hate using it the whole time because you guys must be sick of me saying this. It's these massive moments that Blizzard tries to build in their own minds that they think is going to blow the player away. And it ends up being this sort of meh. Because there was no build-up. There was no reason for us to get truly excited about any of this. There's literally no reason for any of this to matter. At this point, I wish he would fucking win. If I'm honest. I wish he would win at this point. Fuck it. I'm rooting for Zuval. Let's destroy all reality because this reality sucks dick. The game sucks dick at this point. So, I don't know. It's a very confusing cinematic. Very confusing. But, yeah. I don't know why you guys asked me to watch this one first. It reveals nothing really. It creates a number of plot holes that obviously haven't been filled. And I do have to point out another thing that I tweeted here at Balula, because Balula made a point that I didn't quite agree with, that I had to just sort of quickly highlight. So Balula said, worth remembering they did big CG models for the likes of Zuval. They were shown in promo materials. Chances big cinematics plus a major content patch were cut. So yeah, I wish they adjusted the story they tried to tell to the space they had to tell it in. And I just thought I would tell Balula that he's wrong. No, Bal. Ian, in his most recent interview, promised no content was cut from Shadowlands. And then, of course, I continue to. These fucks can't even be honest with their players when it would actually help them. And I stand by that. If Blizzard actually came out and Blizzard said, hey, we apologize profusely for Shadowlands. We had to cut so much content in order to get the game out in the time frame. And looking back at it now, this was the biggest mistake we have ever made. We're really sorry. We're going to just scrap Shadowlands and we're going to pretend like Shadowlands never existed in the past. That would have been, I feel, much better received by the player base. The player base would most likely have gone, all right, makes sense. You guys tried to make it work with cut content. It didn't work. It's fine. You know, we can forgive you for that. Instead, they double down. They sort of go, no, we didn't cut any content. This was exactly the content that we wanted you to have. And then the player is going, really? Is this really what you wanted me to see? Because this is stupid. This is a cinematic that should not have happened. I like that they have at least included the Forges on Azeroth. That's nice to see why the Forges were actually built. I mean, it wasn't a reveal. It's literally been canon for a long time. But it's nice. It's nice that they're at least included. So Steve the Newser did at least ask someone about the history of Azeroth and go, oh, wait, we do have Forges on Azeroth. We should use them. So, yeah, all in all, I can't really say anything good or bad about this cinematic. It is, as far as I'm concerned, a nothing burger. So before we go to the next one, which most of you think is going to be the one that induces all the rage, what do you think? What were your thoughts on this cinematic, chat? Peppy laugh. All right. If you were to give this cinematic a rating out of 10, what would you say? Rave, thanks for the first time chat, dude. Really appreciate that. I see a lot of 2 out of 10s, a lot of 3 out of 10s, a lot of Mirror Live. Thank you for the first time chat. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. I see a lot of people that if you're rating this any higher than 5, you're out of your mind. You should apply at Blizzard. They might hire you to go write the story. This cinematic is visually fine. I can't say that it's audio. The audio is fine. The jailer fucking whispers when he should be screaming. But visually, it's cool. Art style is all right. You know, nothing bad. At least we got to see something on Azeroth, which, you know.
A nothing, not of nothingness out of 10.
It might be out. Thanks for the 30. Really appreciate that. The truth is that this cinematic should not have existed. There's no reason why this cinematic should exist. It's useless. It reveals nothing. It adds nothing. It doesn't even really create confusion. I was literally sitting here waiting for some big moment, and the big moment didn't come, you know? And I feel like if you're gonna have... So I should probably clarify this for any of our Final Fantasy boys here and girls who only play Final Fantasy. Let me be clear. World of Warcraft cinematics is where the story happens. If you remove cinematics from World of Warcraft, there really is no story. It's not like in Final Fantasy XIV, where cutscenes and cinematics happen so often, and it's usually dialogue-driven, and that's how the story is told. This is literally where the story happens in these 1 minute to 2 minute cinematics. You remove them, there is no fucking story, and nothing makes sense. So the fact that this cinematic was used to reveal nothing just gives me... Because here's the thing, right? This is supposed to be the jailer's intro cinematic. This is the moment that's supposed to convince me...
Val's lines from the rest of SL and nothing of value would be lost.
Very true. Very fucking true. The point of this cinematic is to convince me, the player, that I need to stop the bad guy. This is the bad guy. I am still not convinced that Zuval is the bad guy. Ren the Mage, thanks for the 2 months up. Really appreciate that. 2 months in a row, 19 months all in all. Really appreciate you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is there anyone here that can say that they truly believe Zuval is the bad guy? because I don't, like, I know they say that Zuval is the bad guy, but I'm still not really fucking seeing it. I don't understand why he's supposed to be this bad guy. Like, I agree with him. It's fucking ain't all reality. It sucks. Right? Reality fucking blows at this point. The issues is that this didn't serve what it was supposed to serve. If you go to the... a quick reminder. Do you guys remember the cinematic for Arthas? I wonder if they still have it here. What would it be called? Lich King fight. It wasn't really a cinematic. It was more like an in-game thing that was happening. There's like a little bit of... Here we go. Now, keep in mind, this wasn't even a cinematic, right? Christacia, how you doing? This wasn't even a cinematic. This was an in-game thing. And just tell me after this if you're not convinced this fucker should die. Back in the days when we didn't know how to edit videos. So you watch the running and everything. Dude, no one can fucking read that anyway, so just go. 360p was the ultimate. Alright, listen to this. This is just dialogue, by the way.
So, the light's vaunted justice has finally arrived. Shall I lay down Frostborn and throw myself at your mercy, Fordring?
We'll grant you a swift death, Arthas. More than can be said for the thousands you've tortured and slain.
You'll learn of that firsthand. When my work is complete, you will beg for mercy, and I will deny you. Your anguished cries will be testament to my unbridled power.
So be it. Champions, attack!
I'll keep you alive to witness the
Alright, this wasn't even a cinematic. This was dialogue within the game between two characters. And I remember seeing this for the very first time, and you knew Arthas had to die. No matter what, Arthas had to die. This, what we just saw, this is what this was supposed to do. And even after watching this, I'm still not fucking convinced he needs to die. So it failed at at its literal job. The job is to create this moment where the player goes, okay, time to fucking murder this bastard. And I'm watching this and going, right, how do I help him? Is there a way for me to quickly switch factions here? Like, I'll pay $15, I'll quickly go over to Zuval's faction, I'll help him. I'll kill all my fucking guildies, and then we'll win. Because, you know, is this possible? I'd like to see it. Siji, thanks for the first time chat. Did really appreciate that, by the way. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, yeah, just want to point out an intro cinematic that leaves you actually rooting for the bad guy is really not the way it should be, right? That's a bad way to have a fucking intro cinematic. But anyways, we don't have much time, so we'll move on to the next one. I don't know if I'm ready for the next one. Gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know if I'm ready for the next one. If this is how bad the intro was, I don't know if I want to see the outro. All right, here we go. The Jailer's Fall. We have waited 2.5 years, ladies and gentlemen, for this very moment. The moment has finally come. Well, 2 years, actually. The moment has come. The man, the myth, the legend, who is Zuval, has been pulling the strings of Azeroth since the dawn of time, it seems. He was behind everything, from Sargeras' fall, to the fall of Arthas, to even the invasion of the Burning Legion. Every action that we have had in World of Warcraft over the past almost 2 decades at this point, this was the man. This was King Nipples himself doing his thing, you know? And we have finally killed him. I'm still not convinced that we should have. It may have been better for him not to die, but we'll see now how it all ends.
This must not be.
You have betrayed your duty as Arbiter, and shall be bound forevermore. Your madness has threatened the cycle of life and death entire.
You could have sought another way, brother. Imagine what we could have accomplished together.
Why, Zovar? What drove you to this end? You preserve that which is doomed. A cosmos divided will not survive. What is to come?
Wait, what the fuck did he say at the end there? Hold up.
Not survive. What is to come?
How does... Okay. There were a couple of moments where I actually thought most of you were completely wrong. Where I thought, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, for example, they bolt into this really interesting bit here.
Why, Zovar? What drove you to this end? You preserve that which is doomed. A cosmos divided will not survive.
A cosmos divided will not survive. It was actually quite nice. When I first heard him say this, I thought to myself that it's such a unique throwback to something that Arthas himself said. For those of you that don't know, go read the book Arthas. Arthas gives an explanation for why he's doing what he is doing in that book. Arthas explains that as long as Azeroth's forces fight over control and fight over territory and, you know, the infighting that we have. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the rhymes. I really appreciate that. Welcome to the most degenerate chat on Twitch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We won't survive. So Arthas' goal was to basically unite all of Azeroth under one banner as undead so that we could stop everyone from basically invading. Rathian had the same line. You're very true, Mom. Rathian had pretty much exactly the same line. But here's what confuses me about this entire fucking cinema. I'm trying to stay calm because I want to explode and say a lot of bad words about Steve Denuzer's writing. But I'm going to try and contain myself so that I can actually make a point here. How is it fucking possible that Steve Denuzer can remember a book that is almost 2 decades old, but cannot remember a story that he fucking wrote less than a year ago? Less than a year ago, he wrote a story where this bad guy fucking divides the whole cosmos. where this guy divides the whole Shadowlands, the whole Azeroth, and the whole universe is divided because of things that he fucking did. And now you're telling me that he's going, well, you know, I divided the cosmos, and that means the cosmos will not survive because it is divided. It's like, well, fucker, you did that. Like, if you didn't do that, the cosmos wouldn't be survive. So what? Did you want the cosmos not to survive? How does this make sense? Nothing about your story makes any sense, Denuser. If he wanted to unite the universe, he wouldn't then also take a lot of action that divides the universe in the first place. Really fucking poggers Monka story here, Denuser. I don't know if Steve Denuser is trying to write what can only be described as fucking 5-head, maybe even 10-head, 9,000 IQ stories that I, with my small brain, cannot fucking fathom, but I am not. To say that I am confused would be the understatement of the century. What I'm experiencing right now is not actually confusion. It's, man, I'm so fucking lost, I don't even know where I am. And when I say I don't even know where I am, I don't even know where I am. Like, anywhere in the... I may as well not be in this fucking universe, because I am completely lost. I don't know what game I'm playing. I don't know what the fuck this game wants me to do. How is this cinematic? How does he turn into this? Like, what the fuck is the significance of this thing? He just turns into a statue? Like, what's the significance there? What does that mean? Are all of them just statues that were brought to life? And that when every single one of them dies, they will become statues again? This is even worse than the construct thing, because at least with the construct thing, when you kill them, they sort of fall apart and then it's fuck all, right? If you kill a construct, everything falls off, there's gears and levers everywhere and it's done. They're not even constructs, they're statues. They're statues that were brought to life. They're basically no better than the Titan Keepers. If I'm honest, this is literally the story of the Titan Keepers. Beings of stone that have life breathed into them by the Titans. And then, of course, the Curse of Flesh. So what? Did Duval have the Curse of Flesh here, and as soon as he died, he no longer had the Curse of Flesh? He went back to being a fucking statue. What is the significance of this? We won't survive what is to come. Steve Denuser, we don't even know what just fucking happened, and you're already trying to sort of, you know, give us premonitions on what is gonna come? You haven't even explained what's just happened. And we're already, you won't survive what is to come. Okay. I don't even know what the fuck just happened here. I don't care what is to come. I'll tell you what this entire cinematic sort of brings to an end with the Shadowlands, and it is something that's been... It's something that's been highlighted and shown in Shadowlands for a long time, but specifically in the Warcraft movie. What was the biggest problem with the Warcraft movie, chat? The biggest issue, in your opinion, with the Warcraft movie? Every fault of the Warcraft movie can be tied down to one single concept. They were writing the Warcraft movie for a sequel. They were not writing the Warcraft movie to be a good movie. They were writing the Warcraft movie to inspire sequels. Now, as someone that knows the Warcraft lore, I enjoyed the Warcraft movie. As someone who has no fucking clue what the Warcraft lore is all about, you would have watched that movie and you wouldn't have a clue. You wouldn't have a fucking clue. Because everything in that movie was written for a sequel. This is what I believe Shadowlands was. Shadowlands was the writing for a sequel. They were trying so hard to bring everything that was old in World of Warcraft to an end and setting up this new sequel. That's why the final moments of Zuval is, they will not survive. what is to come. Of course, in the whispery fucking voice that makes you incapable of hearing what the hell he's actually saying. In fact, I had to turn on subtitles so that I could fucking see what he actually said there. How is... You know what? I actually think that this cinematic is at least better than N'Zoth's Fall cinematic. At least this is better because this cinematic brings to an end the worst cinematic or the worst expansion in the history of World of Warcraft. At least BFA's, you know, it fucked over the old gods, but BFA, like, I thought BFA was the worst expansion in the history of World of Warcraft until I played Shadowlands, and then I was like, oh, never mind. Shadowlands is the worst expansion in the history of World of Warcraft. It's disgusting. After all this setup, after all this writing, this is the best they can do. 1 minute and 23 seconds of a fucking, once again, nothing burger. What is revealed, chat? I'm going to play the cinematic for you again. Tell me what exactly is revealed in this entire cinematic. Tell me what is revealed.
This must not be.
You have betrayed your duty as Arbiter, and shall be bound forevermore.
What questions is answered, what is revealed, what truths is sort of brought to the fore, what moments is sort of ended in this, and let me give you a couple of examples of this. We still have a giant fucking sword stuck inside Azeroth. There is still a cannon that was supposed to be shot 2 expansions ago, and yet is still there and has not been shot. There is still the problem with Helia's deal with Sylvanas that has zero relevance within the story whatsoever. There is still the moment with Sylvanas tearing open the skies by breaking open the Helm of Domination, which this, by the way, completely retcons. Because for some fucking reason, now that he's dead, the hole just repairs itself. But then, what was the purpose? Like, was he the one who broke like ripped the hole in the veil? Then what was the fucking point of the Helm of Domination?
Your madness has threatened the cycle of life and death entire.
You could have sought another way, brother. Imagine what we could have accomplished together.
Why, Zova? What drove you to this end?
He's being asked a straightforward question, one that every player wants to know the answer to.
You preserve that which is doomed. A cosmos divided will not survive.
Literally, straight fucking answer, political, straight fucking question, political answer. I'll give you an answer that actually answers fuck all. Literally, Papa Shango, literally, cause reasons. He may as well have cut everything that he fucking said there and just went, cause reasons. That's it, because that's fucking literally what he said. He said a bunch of shit that boils down to equals cause reasons. It's fucking disgusting.
What is to come?
And then miraculously it all heals itself. In a miraculous twist, the veil is now healed. Everything seems to be going back to normal. If you're a writer that works in a story, right? And halfway through your story, you start to realize that the player base is a bit confused as to what your story is actually supposed to be. To my mind, you then try and tell the story, right? Fratchen, thanks for the follow, dude. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right? You try to now tell the story because you are aware that your player base is much confused about the story as it currently stands. Instead, the newser doubles down and tries to write, I don't know, this like I said, 9,000 IQ fucking story that still leaves me going, well, I still don't get it. I mean, thank you for ending the Shadowlands, as it were. I think I speak for a lot of people here. Combat Butler, thanks for the follow, dude. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say we are happy to be done with this fucking expansion. So for that, Steve Denuser, hand on heart, I thank you. It's a privilege to see your mind at work. The saddest part of all of this is we will never get the answers we're looking for. This was supposed to be the ending of the first chapter of World of Warcraft, right? They've now ended it. And we're never going to get the answers we were so desperately seeking to try and make sense of this story. Because from this moment forward, I can guarantee you, Steve is done. It's over. Steve is done with the old stories of World of Warcraft. I'll highlight what I said earlier. Imagine you're working at a factory, yeah? And for the last 2 years, your performance have been F tier. So you have broken more items than you've actually managed to pack. Under your tutelage, the factory is losing fucking money. Things are going horribly. Do you think you would still have your job after 2 years of just absolute abysmal performance? Do you imagine that you would still have a job? Jerry Carver, he's going to include some old characters, but it's going to be the ones that he wants to write in a different way. I think most of us can know you'd be fired. Then how in the fuck is the newser still working for this company? Like, seriously. BFA and Shadowlands is wholly the writing of Steve Denuser. And after all of that, he still has no idea. Like, the player doesn't have a fucking clue what he's writing. The story doesn't have a clue what it wants to be or how it wants to be. How is this guy still in a job? And don't give me that, like, it was Alex Afrigiabi who burnt the tree. Dude, you can give me this story with the burning of Tildrassil, and I would still have been able to bring a better fucking story than this. It was, at no point was the burning of Tildrassil the final moment, right? You just couldn't salvage it. That wasn't the problem with Shadowlands. The problem was that after the burning of Tildrassil, Steve Denuser still wanted to stick his dick into the game and force the story into a direction that it couldn't naturally go to. There was no natural way to redeem Sylvanas Windrunner after the burning of Tildrassil. You just cannot fucking do it. Can't be done. There was no natural way that you were going to bring about the end of almost, well, actually more than 2 decades of story in a singular expansion. It cannot be fucking done. The dude wanted to stick his dick in and get it done. This is wholly on him. He is the reason that this story failed, and Ian is the fuck that keeps him employed. So both of them need to go. I tell you now, any of you that is excited for 10.0, good luck. Good fucking luck. 10.0 is going to be a mess. Steve Denuser has zero talent. He does not have the talent. And by that, I don't mean that he's necessarily a bad storyteller. Maybe Steve Denuser can really write good books. And maybe Steve Denuser is really good at certain things. But at writing game stories, Steve Denuser is not good. When you're trying to write a story for a video game, you have to be very careful with how you design the narrative for that game. And Steve Denuser doesn't have that. He couldn't give two fucks about how his story is perceived. The story is almost never written from the perspective of the reader. It's written from the perspective of the third voice, the narrator. And the narrator doesn't give a fuck whether or not the reader follows. The narrator just goes off on a tangent, and the reader is left trying to catch up. That's what this cinematic is. Again, not a bad cinematic. The graphics is cool. The music is fine. The voice acting is shit. At least from Zuval. Most of the other voice acting was fine. But it reveals nothing. It portrays nothing.
Come mid-April, so the thing I'm really about comes to fruition. Final Fantasy XIV, Newfound Adventure.
This was not the way. This was not the way. There should have at least been some answers, you know? If this is the final cinematic for an expansion, there should be some answers, no? Am I asking too much to expect some answers? Is that me expecting too much? And I'm not asking, am I asking too much from Blizzard? I'm asking in general. When I'm playing an expansion, I'm playing a story. Is it not feasible that I should expect an ending that makes sense to me at the end of the story that I'm playing? I don't think that is asking too much. Instead, Steve Denuser keeps up this fucking 7-head chess of his, where the player is completely confused by literally everything that's happening, and he calls it writing for speculation purposes. By the way, for those of you that don't get that snide remark, after his Shadowlands, Grimoire of the Shadowlands, he said, before the book came out, he said, for people who love speculating, this book is going to be perfect for speculators. It ended up being a nothing burger. We ended up speculating about probably 2 or 3 chapters within the entire book. Everything else was kind of useless and confusing. Nothing like, by the way, the Chronicles. The Chronicles was almost 3 years of my entire channel was about the Chronicles speculation. Videos every single day, by the way. Because the Chronicles wasn't written to be speculation heavy. It was written to provide answers. And within those answers, speculation came to fruition. The truth is, this guy is just... Yeah, I'm hoping that he... I know this sounds horrible, but I do hope that the 10.0 tanks so that we can get rid of Ian Hazikostas and so that we can get rid of Denuser. Because I do believe that those two people are to blame for all of the mistakes in World of Warcraft. And yeah, you can say Bobby Kotick too, but Bobby Kotick was not the lead developer for World of Warcraft. Bobby Kotick wasn't the fuck who thought that things like Azerite power was a good idea. Bobby Kotick was not the guy who thought that conduits and covenants was a good idea. I am sorry. There is a lot of things that we can blame Bobby Kotick for, but the shite design of World of Warcraft, that's Ian's problem. The crap story of World of Warcraft, that's Denuser. And they're lies. They're consistent fucking lies. Not being honest with the player base. When you're asked directly, did you cut content? And they say, no. This was exactly the content that we had imagined. And it's like, dude, you're not helping yourself. Like, if you say, even if it's not true, if you said you had cut content, a lot of us would go, ah, makes sense now. But you just go, nope, we are really this shit. Like, that's genuinely what this is. When Ian said we did not cut content, and for those of you that's thinking, well, at least they're being honest, no, they're not. I know for a fact that they're being dishonest. I knew about content that was supposed to be in the game. I received leaks from people who work for Blizzard of content that was supposed to be in the game that never made it into the game. So I know for a fact that they had cut content. It is a lie from Ian to suggest that they didn't. But by Ian saying there was no cut content, this was the content, it was always going to be the content the players were going to play, he was effectively saying, no, we really have this little talent. This is about the best story we can tell and about the best game we can make. That's it. We didn't cut content. We cannot blame COVID or any of the time restrictions of COVID. This is us. This is what we do. Of course, make no mistake, guys. There are those who are already defending Blizzard. I had to bite my tongue a few times on Twitter today. The usual suspects, most of you know them already, who came out in a very strong defense of Blizzard Entertainment. Only this time, they're not actually coming out in defense of the cinematic, because this cinematic cannot be defended. It probably can. We'll have to give them a couple of days so that they can come up with the best excuse for the cinematic. But what they've done is they're now sort of going, actually, there's now sort of, they're sort of saying that the player base's reaction is not proportional to how bad the cinematic was. Like, they're kind of saying the cinematic wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad either, and that the players who are really reacting to the cinematic are just overreacting. It's insane. Yeah, the gaslighting has started from these fuckheads. Raheem, link the 17 questions to me. I'll react to it right now. We have about 40 minutes left. So, yeah. I'll be happy to answer it. I have about 100 questions after the cinematic that I would like answered. So I don't know how many answers I can actually provide to Asmongold's questions, but yeah. Gro, how you doing? I don't want to watch the cinematic again. Sorry, bro. I'll have the video up on YouTube if you want to watch it, but I can't watch this again. I'm sorry, but there's just no. This is just disgusting. I'm sorry. Why the fuck did you guys make me watch this? You know, I thought I was coming here to hang out with you guys for about 2 hours before my power goes out again. And now I have to hang out with no power with that in my fucking head. Are you serious?
This is going to sound...
I wrote 17 questions. Okay. So we have another reaction. We have another reaction video here. Something else that I want to react to. So Asmongold has 17 reasons why this is our worst cinematic ever. Nixie, thank you for the prime sub. Really appreciate that. Or for the gifted subs, actually. Can we get some hearts in chat? Many of you should now have some form of a sub. So hearts in chat is absolutely required. Nixie, it does ease the pain, I will admit. My balls were about to leave my body after that cinematic, and the 5 gifted subs just made them hold on a little bit longer. We'll see what Asmongold's reasons here is for it.
Sound insane, and that's because it is. I thought about every single reason why, every question that the cinematic had for me, and I wrote down all of these questions. You want me to hear? You want me to read them? I'm gonna read these. Sup, y'all? It's me. It's your boy Asmongold. Man, I have no idea what's gonna happen next expansion. I'm gonna just be honest.
No one
with you
does.
guys. I feel like every single time that a new cinematic comes out, Blizzard outdoes themselves.
True.
They do. They completely outdo themselves. Because you...
Very true. After the Anduin cinematic, well, actually, let's go back. After N'Zoth cinematic, I did not think things could get worse. Then Anduin cinematic happened, and I thought, well, okay, so things can get worse, but this is pretty much rock bottom. Then the intro cinematic happened, and I thought, right, okay, this is pretty much the lowest you can go. And then the final cinematic happened, and I don't know if we can go lower. The only thing that can possibly go lower here would be a Stickman cinematic. So if Blizzard just did like a bit of a Stickman cinematic and literally no dialogue, just a bunch of people fighting with oversized swords, you know, a bunch of stickmen running around fighting each other with swords, that would probably be like, that would be the bottom. From this moment, from where we are now, that's the only step left. Hand puppets, maybe. Could be, actually, no. First, it would be hand puppets. So Blizzard could do a cinematic with pure hand puppets. And then only the Stickman cinematic. So assume that the next expansion is going to be hand puppets.
Do you think that after every cinematic, it can't get worse than this? This is as bad as it can get.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
True.
Apparently, they took that as a challenge. So, 9.2 Aftermath, the state of WoW and fans. Here we go. This is the this is the situation right here, and I don't disagree. I feel like this is the way that a lot of people feel right now. Did we expect anything else? So there is a small glimmer of hope in the very, very smallest region in my mind, where I thought to myself, maybe, just fucking maybe, they could come out and come up with some cool plot twist or something interesting.
They got
really
me
did.
too.
And was it copium? Was it hopium?
Yes.
It was 100%, because I thought, there's no way this was all for nothing. There's no way that it's all going to come down and none of it's going to matter.
You know how I know that this is how the vast majority of the player base thinks? Is because Asmongold is effectively saying exactly what I think myself. Exactly how I feel about all of this, Asmongold is just saying it.
How could this happen? How could this possibly happen? And then it did. And that's about exactly how I feel.
Yep.
Right there. Hopium, we still have campaign chapters. So wait, so they copied that picture? I wouldn't be surprised if there was probably somebody at Blizzard that made that connection, and they made it even more like that because of the connection. I don't even really think that's a bad thing. So at least they broke the cycle of good expansion and bad expansion.
True. Fucking true. It's now bad expansion, bad expansion.
I never thought of it like that. I genuinely never did. Holy shit.
Talk about seeing the upside in a dumpster fire. At least the cycle of good expansion, bad expansion is now broken.
Oh my god. They did break the cycle. Wow. And the thing is, like, look, here's the way I see about it. Is that everybody said that this is going to sound kind of bad, all right? But everybody said that 10.0 was going to be Steve Denuzer's baby. They said it was going to be the writing team is going to completely have the next expansion. Listen,
the copium.
If the next expansion is going to be the right...
Can I quickly ask, because I don't think... By the way, can we table this for tomorrow? I just realized this is a 30-minute video, and I'm almost guaranteed not going to be able to get through this, because... Dude, we turned 10 minutes into an hour and 10 minutes. So half an hour video is about 3 hours of view time. Let me just see when my power is out tomorrow. Because that will inform when we stream tomorrow. So tomorrow, my power is going out. All right, again at 4 to 6:30. So I will be off again until about 6:30 tomorrow. So I'll be a bit late for stream tomorrow. Oh, for fuck's sake. No, tomorrow we should be fine. We have about 4 hours tomorrow to stream it. About 4 hours tomorrow. So we should be fine tomorrow to watch this and react a bit. It's going to be tough for Final Fantasy stuff, but yeah. I want to table this right here because I want to ask a question, chat. For how many of you was this expansion the final moment? Like this cinematic was the moment that you went, all right, that's me, I'm out. Is there anyone here that unsubbed as a result of this cinematic? You just saw the cinematic and you're like, okay, all of my hope, I still had hope, I was hanging on, but this is enough. Wait, your entire guild quit? Holy shit. This is enough. Play through 9.0, been unsub since June. You know, I don't play for those reasons, just to play with friends and family. I know. I'm so happy I discovered Lost Ark. For me, it was Arthur's. It was not a sub, but don't care, not one bit about WoW no more. Some 9.2. So I've been unsubbed since the lawsuits happened. So just after, about a month after 9.1 was when I unsubbed from the game. And I can honestly say, I've never been happier. I've never been happier. The WoW writing team has, because I should be very clear with everyone here. I don't play games like World of Warcraft, like Final Fantasy for raiding or dungeons or anything like that. I play it for story primarily. Almost all of my favorite games are story games, you know. I play things like Witcher 3, Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, Dragon Age 1, 2, and Inquisition, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Neverwinter Nights, Red Dead Redemption 2, what else? Cyberpunk. You know, these are the kind of games that I play. I love RPG, story-driven video games. It's my bread and butter. And with World of Warcraft, as soon as the story started taking a nosedive, I started to I started to lose interest. Divinity Original Sin 2 is also a very, very good fucking story game. Baldur's Gate 3 is something that I'm really looking forward to. But I started losing interest around that time. And I feel like things have just progressively been getting worse and worse and worse and worse ever since I lost interest in the game. My true interest waned around beginning of BFA. So about 3 weeks into the BFA, my true interests in World of Warcraft started to wane. I felt like BFA just didn't have anything to keep me there. The story was already getting unhinged and disjointed a little bit, for me, at least for my personal tastes. And things just obviously got worse and worse and worse until they finally just completely fucked out. Shadowlands, for me, I think was my final straw. I'll probably go back and taste 10.0 as, you know, as a streamer, as a content creator, but this will be a taste, just a clean cut. Try it out, see what it's like, make a video on whether or not you should try it, and then move on. Which was, coincidentally, just to be clear, that was what my Final Fantasy foray was supposed to be. So when I started, before I even started playing Final Fantasy 14, I was gonna do it just to make one video. That was it. The idea was to play the game to such a point where I could make one video and go, all right, it's all right. It's not that bad. And then go back to playing other games. And I've made a lot of Final Fantasy videos, and there's a lot more videos for Final Fantasy to come, because it's sort of become my new favorite game, you know? It's sort of become my new main game. Almost all other games will be when I'm not playing Final Fantasy 14. Mordred, thanks for the tier 1 sub. Did really appreciate that. 6 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now you're an FF Andy? I am an FF Andy, yes. When I'll be lurking for a bit while playing with Puppy Dog outside. Duchess Rain, how you doing? Yeah, well, more than 100 Chocobo races, to be fair. But there is so much that World of Warcraft... I'm actually doing a video on that right now. I'm busy writing the script for that video. The lessons that World of Warcraft can absolutely learn from Final Fantasy in terms of storytelling. Because, yeah, World of Warcraft has such a long way to go to figuring out how to tell a story. Sarahbot, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the most degenerate chat on Twitch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I believe WoW was base game for 10 years until Illidan revived by the stupid holy light, Mother Crystal. All right, so Jolene, World of Warcraft story always worked for one reason and one reason only. Simplicity. The World of Warcraft story was never a very in-depth story. It was always an extremely simple story. See bad guy, kill bad guy. That's it, right? All of WoW lore? Tubod, what do you mean he changed the Twitter bio? Did he change it to covering all of WoW lore, or did he change it to covering Final Fantasy lore? Was never had a real story, even in BC. King Julian, let me make my point and then you can retort. World of Warcraft's story was always about see bad guy, kill bad guy, that's it. Right? It was about the ideas behind the survival of Azeroth. It was about the idea of the champion of Azeroth and the adventures of the champion of Azeroth. That was really it, you know? That was really it. That was the simplicity that made World of Warcraft great. And the reason World of Warcraft chose such a simplistic style was because of their storytelling style. The storytelling style of World of Warcraft really doesn't encompass an extremely in-depth, complex story. The second you go too complex with World of Warcraft storyline, you need to change the way you tell the story in its entirety. So what World of Warcraft sort of did is, as it introduced these oversimplified good guy, bad guy storylines, it left a lot of room for speculation, which is where things got interesting. This is why speculation channels did so well for World of Warcraft, because you're speculating, and the speculation makes the story more complicated. The physical story that they're telling is really just good guy, bad guy, kill bad guy, get loot. It's the world around it, the universe that's sort of created thanks to the simplistic story. That's where the speculation comes in and makes more complex stories out of a overly simplified story, if you will. But it worked so well because World of Warcraft had a very fundamental way of telling the story. Very little story in the game. The quest would reveal some of the plot devices. The quest would reveal some of the world narratives. But the quest didn't really do much for the story. The cinematics were where stories either started or concluded. And then you had the books that sort of provided a bit more insights into the story that was playing out. So really the complexity happened in the books. Everything else was sort of simplistic and straightforward. It feels that since the Newser have come online, he's been trying to get these 5-head, complex, intricate stories into the World of Warcraft universe. You know, he's really been fucking trying to make it as complex as humanly possible. But you can't change one thing if you're not willing to change the things that is meant to drive this new vehicle. So let's say, for example, we built a car, yeah? And this car was built to specifications to go top speed of 120 kilometers an hour. That's like 50 to 60 miles per hour. I don't know exactly. We don't use miles here. But 120 kilometers per hour. Yeah? Now I come to you and I say, no, I want a bigger engine. I want the car exactly as it is, but I want a bigger engine. I want this car to be able to go 220. Would you say that we're likely going to have to make some adjustments to the underside of this car, you know, the sort of internal things, the wheels, the bearings, the foundation of the car? Would you say we're probably going to have to sort of make sure that the car can actually handle an extra 100 kilometers an hour? Or do you think you can absolutely just plop an engine on there and this thing will just fucking go another 100 kilometers an hour faster with nothing coming off? The answer is no. You will absolutely have to make some adjustments. If you don't, there's a good chance that at 200 kilometers per hour, the wheels are going to come off. You want to know how I know that? So I used to drive this really shitty car. I was back in uni. I drove a City Golf. It's a Volkswagen. This is really small, sort of ugly City Golf, like really cheap. And its top speed was about 140, you know? That's like top speed. Go 140. But if you hit like a downward slope and it's long enough. Also, by the way, cat ears and beer geek bones. Thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you. You could push it to about 180, 190. Now, at 180, 190 kilometers per hour, that steering wheel was fucking doing this, bro. The car was rattling. It felt like everything was about to come off. Like, this thing was going to just rip itself apart within moments if you keep going that fast. Because it was never built to go that fucking fast. It can go 140 to 150, no problem. At 180, 190, you're now doing something with the car that it was never really built to fucking do. Nothing was built to go that fast. And that really is the issue. World of Warcraft was never built for complex, in-depth stories. And yet they're trying to drive these stories using this old, sort of dated engine and vehicle. And the vehicle cannot tell the stories. Because Steve Denuser seemingly doesn't understand that you cannot tell a story of the cosmos with a bad guy that wants to change the whole fucking cosmos if you still have a vehicle that was never built to do that in. Your vehicle can't handle that. Take that to the books, mate. Get that fucking shit out of the game. Take it to the books. If you want to tell these incredibly complex stories, just start releasing books. You know, because your game can't do it. If you want the game to do it, you have to adapt the game to be able to do it. And that is a lot of work. Because that means the quest design has to change. It means the layout has to change. World of Warcraft has to become much more narrative focused rather than just moment focused. Yeah, I don't see any good times for Blizzard as things continue. Because I don't think Steve Denuser understands the basic fundamentals of storytelling. And I don't think Steve Denuser understands why this is so incredibly important. Yeah. A narrative team needs to merge. I don't understand how you have a quest design department and a narrative lead department that isn't basically the fucking same department, if I'm going to be honest with you. Chaos, how you doing, brother? Clean, how you doing? Rahim Z, how you doing? Sad though, the game that defined us as gamers for 15 plus years is now dead. It is sad for me because, look, I don't want any games to die. Why would you want games to die? More games is always more better. Why would anyone want less games? What's the fucking point of less games? Less games isn't good. More games is good. I mean, we could get into some serious speculation and sort of tinfoil hat theories here. But there is a chance that Putin also quit World of Warcraft and Shadowlands and was just bored. In the Defias Brotherhood, if it wasn't just resolved by murder hobos, the potential is there, just nothing is done with it, and I think that hurts more. Cerebot, it does hurt. Yes, you are correct. Dude, if you're not playing, I'll get my table, got loads of it. If you're not playing Final Fantasy at the moment, you are doing yourself such a disservice. I think it's close to death. I reckon once WoW gets under 500k subs, Bliss will shut down the servers. I don't think so. No, I think they'll keep it going. About the mentor, I have heard a lot of people in my country say that. Why should I teach those newbie? They don't pay my game time. They should learn them by themselves. I mean, the mentor thing is a whole different story, I think. I don't play WoW anymore, but I still want to see where the story goes, so I watch Echo. DH, how you doing, bro? I don't really... you shouldn't follow me for too much of the World of Warcraft stories. I don't really play WoW anymore, and I refuse to cover any of the newest stories. All of my speculation stuff is literally just my speculation stuff. And old stuff. Oh shit, Noble really did change. He's wow. Noble removed everything from World of Warcraft from his Twitter page. Bitch also unfollowed me, but I think I understand why. I've been pretty brutal for a while now, and I think there's a lot of people that's just going, shit, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want people to see me following him because he's brutal as fuck on Twitter. You know, he deserves a game that respects his time. Dude, it's going to happen a lot. I think I changed my profile as well. Yeah, I did actually. My profile used to say covering everything World of Warcraft lore, and now it's just what? Question mark. Must be disappointed by WoW lore. I think we're all very disappointed. I'm gonna be honest. I think every single World of Warcraft content creator right now is just done. Fucking bait WoW will turn into some horrible pay-to-win mobile game. Look, I'm gonna be... So, my Final Fantasy videos are doing amazingly well. I'm very happy with my Final Fantasy videos. I'll actually show you guys, just in case you were wondering. Now, remember, my channel is pretty much built on World of Warcraft. That has been for the longest fucking time, right? It has been for the longest fucking time a World of Warcraft only channel. Now, look at this. If you look at the views here, so this is my newest Final Fantasy video. It released a couple of hours ago. It's at 1.9, right? Here's a World of Warcraft speculation video, 3.9. That was March the 7th. You look at my Into Madness, 5,000. Content Done Right, 5,000. World of Warcraft, 1,000. The reaction video got 16,000. Speechless. This is the video about Alexander's Perfection, 9,000. World of Warcraft versus Final Fantasy, 6,000. 10,000 for my Vault reaction. 10,000 for my God tier Estinian reaction. 18,000 for my Yoshi P Broke My Heart video. The truth is, my Final Fantasy videos are doing better, constantly doing better. By the way, this video, Let Tears Flow, is currently the second biggest video on my channel. Over the last 2 months, this is the second best video for its time that it's been out. It's number 2 ranked. So every single Final Fantasy video I make just does amazingly well. People love watching it. Now, the reason I'm saying this is I think there is a very large group of gamers who used to be subbed to my channel for playing World of Warcraft that has left World of Warcraft and has now moved on to other games. And they're finding videos like this incredibly fun and interesting because they're getting to see other games that they may or may not want to play. So the truth is, I think now is the perfect time for most content creators to move away from World of Warcraft and survive. Like, if you want to move away from WoW and WoW only, now is a good time to do it. Taliesin will try to defend the cinematic. I'm pretty sure he will. Chaos, that is very true. But what happens when WoW... Do people in this chat actually believe that WoW will die? Like, do you actually believe that WoW will die? Or do you think that this is going to be a moment where they realize that, oh shit, we have to change something? I enjoy your videos a lot because you cover the journey you're experiencing. Beer Geek, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I'm very glad to know that I'm providing entertainment. Too many players that have only ever played WoW? Still have Copium subscribers. Part of me hopes it don't. So I don't think World of Warcraft will die. But I do think World of Warcraft might move into sort of maintenance mode. I don't think they'll ever straight up kill World of Warcraft. Remember, there's a shit ton of games out there that has 200 to 300,000 subscribers that's doing really well. You know, they have their Star Wars, for example. Do you think Star Wars The Old Republic boasts millions upon millions of players? They still have expansions almost every year. They still bring out new expansions every year. They're making their money. They're making a good amount of money. But they're making their money on a smaller scale. So their games aren't trying to compete with the top of the line. To be honest, Aklon, I discovered your channel when you uploaded a video about how to stop leveling in Final Fantasy XIV. Ah, I remember that video. That was a fun one. I am actually, by the way, going to go through my channel and private a lot of my old videos. Just an FYI. For anyone that still has videos that they would like to see. 60k? What do you mean? Oh, 60,000 subs and it is going strong. Final Fantasy 11. Oh, yeah. Christopher, how you doing, brother? Yes. No, actually, I'm lying. I haven't set foot inside the Golden Saucer since that video, actually. But I had to leave that place. If I go into the Golden Saucer, it's like time stands still. And then I don't want to play anything else because I'm in the Golden Saucer and I'm having fun there. Plus, I really need to finish the MSQ at some fucking point in the near future. So I steer clear of the Golden Saucer for exactly that reason. But then we discovered jumping puzzles, and that's a whole new interest for me now. Is the jumping puzzles. Oh my god. Kugani Savage Tower was so much fun. And I still need to go up it again because I need to jump on the fucking little lamppost at the bottom to get that lookout. I missed that. So close. I was so fucking close, dude. You have no idea. Review coming to you soon, 2030. Yeah, we'll probably only do an Endwalker review once the next 2 Final Fantasy expansions have been released. look, I recognize that this might piss off a lot of WoW players, and if you don't want to be pissed off, put your fingers in your ears right now. But Final Fantasy is just objectively a better game than World of Warcraft, and it's not even close. It's not even close. Where are you at in the MSQ so I don't blood something because I'm new? We just make Ninja Turtle Boy in Stormblood, in Kugani. I haven't played Elden Ring yet, Kinho, so I don't know. Look, games are subjective. Let's not make any mistakes here. Games are very subjective. What one person likes, another person won't like, and that is absolutely fine. For me personally, however, I genuinely believe that Final Fantasy right now kills World of Warcraft through and fucking through. Alright, by the way, thanks for the Ask Me Anything. Really appreciate that, bro. It honestly confuses me how WoW operates with a separate quest designs and narrative team. The quest should be how to tell the story. Honestly explains how story status, thoughts. Alright, 100% agree. You cannot have a game with a story development team where the story development team and the quest team isn't basically the same department. It just can't work. Because quests are supposed to be what tells the story. So if these two departments are basically coming up with their own shit, and that honestly is what is happening within World of Warcraft right now. Garlic Salt, thanks for the follow, really appreciate that. So here's the thing, guys. Or by the way, thank you so much for the question. I really appreciate that. You want to know why World of Warcraft story is so shite? Why you end up with cinematics like the fucking jailer one? You have a narrative team, right? The narrative director and his fucking team doing sort of weird shit that doesn't make sense. Juju Bals, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then you have the quest design team, right? These two departments are very important for any story-driven MMO. Any MMO where you want to have a story, this is very, very important. Holy cheesecake. Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the most degenerate chat on Twitch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Garlic Salt, thanks for the first time chat. Really appreciate that. Simon Highwood, thanks for the first time chat. Really appreciate that. World of Warcraft's story developers, Shartangus, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. The story department comes up with a story, right? Any story. The Shadowlands story, right? So they're writing the story. They're writing the Winter Queen, the Nathrius, the Primus, the Archon, the Arbiter, Zuval, all of the zones, the stories within those zones. The quest development team, on the other hand, designs a bunch of quests. Once these quests are ready, the story is sort of written into smaller pieces and given to individual quest designers or individual quest givers. Fantasy and Final Fantasy over. Only, let me wait, is the stream out? Oh, for the love of fuck. We don't have much time, so when you guys went F, I was like, wait. For a second there, I was like, wait, my power out? No, my power's not out. Everything is still on. What the fuck? Alright. For a second, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But okay, so you have the if you go to a quest giver in World of Warcraft, you usually get like a little bit of like this big of a dialogue box, yeah, where they sort of mouth off the, shall we say, the broad strokes of what you're about to do. So they'll give you a slight bit of backstory, and a slight bit of sort of motivation for why you're supposed to go kill 12 of X and you know, collect 6 bear asses, effectively. And then you go out, you do that, you bring it back. I have never played a game where the individual quests feel so disjointed to what the actual story is as it does in World of Warcraft. more often than not, you get quests to go do things where you think to yourself, wait a second, but how is this thing actually gonna make this other thing so good? Like, how am I gonna fix this thing by doing this other thing? More often than not, you have really no say in the outcome of the thing that you're doing. So you're just basically enabling other characters within the game, so NPCs, to actually do the thing that's supposed to be done. So for example, let's say an NPC wants to save their home. The NPC will get you to kill 25 of something, yeah? And then when you get back, now the NPC saves their home. And you sort of accompany them, and maybe you do sort of a protect quest, which is impossible to fail, but you're still doing a protect quest. And then the NPC saves their home. So you're really more of a spectator to the story. You're not really part of the story. You're a spectator. You see how the story plays out. And that's really the end of the story for you. Compare that to what you get in Final Fantasy XIV, where the dialogue is delivered more often than not to your player. You are in conversation with another character. When you hear two characters speaking to each other, there is an actual serious dialogue that is happening between these two characters. Let me show you what World of Warcraft's example of dialogue actually is, for anyone that might be confused.
This must not be.
You have betrayed your duty as Arbiter.
All right, now keep in mind, this is supposed to be dialogue, right? This is the dialogue. Here you have one line. You have betrayed your duty as Arbiter.
And shall be bound forevermore. Your madness has threatened the cycle of life and death entire.
Another one-liner.
Sought another way, brother. Imagine what we could have accomplished together.
Another one-liner.
Why, Zoval?
Here we have the Primus actually asking a fucking question. And this is where I thought, okay, dialogue. We're about to get some dialogue between, you know, the jailer and the Primus. They're gonna have some dialogue. But instead, no.
What drove you to this end? You preserve that which is doomed. A cosmos divided.
It doesn't feel like the jailer is actually speaking to the Primus. What should have happened here is you preserve that which is doomed. The Primus then goes, what exactly do you mean? Our duty has always been X, Y, Z. And then Zuval goes,
A cosmos divided will not.
how the that wasn't part of the question. We're asking you, why did you do it? And you're just sort of mouthing off a sort of grand narrative here. It doesn't feel like he's speaking to the Primus. It doesn't even feel like he's speaking to anyone. He's not speaking to the player. He's just sort of reading off a line from a page. You know? There's so much context that's missing because it's not there. It's just cut out. Rather than focusing on the whole, and you just said that so fucking brilliantly, Go-Kart. Rather than focusing on the whole of the cinematic that have to deliver this gut punch to the viewer, which is what it's supposed to do. There's supposed to be this gut punch reaction when the viewer sees this. So rather than focusing on that gut punch reaction, they want every single line to be a gut punch in and of itself. So every line has to be so meticulously important to the overall narrative. And the problem is that you can't really do that. Because sometimes you do have a sort of, how do we put this? Sometimes there is a slow build-up to a massive end. World of Warcraft doesn't want that slow build-up. They want every moment to be... They want us as players to sit there and go, oh, 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 oh. At the end of the cinematic, you go, oh my god, what the fuck? This was such a roller coaster of amazing moments, bro. It was a roller coaster of I was going down, I was going down, I was waiting for a climb, I was going down again, I was going down again. If this was a sex scene, I would have been very happy. There was a lot of going down throughout this entire cinematic. But consider it that it is not a sex scene, that becomes a fucking problem. Because we would want some ups as well as downs here. But because you want every moment to be this in-your-face wow moment, it all just sort of falls flat. Because I'm genuinely not feeling connected to anything that is happening here. This, by the way, is the dialogue that Blizzard goes for with their quest design, with their cinematics, with their in-game storytelling. It's this sort of thing. You get more the sense that everyone has a monologue, and everyone's monologue is very important to them. It doesn't really matter whether or not the monologue is important to you, because you don't really matter. They just want to say a bunch of things. And that's it. That's the end of the story. There's not much. Like, anyone who pretends that there is some kind of analysis that can be done on this cinematic is just trying clicks at this point. Because this is my analysis of this video. There is nothing to analyze in this video. You could start reaching and you could start making a lot of shit up. But at the end of the day, I mean, he also ends with this what is to come bullshit. Which is like, oh my god, are you already pushing the next expansion? Like, oh, all right. Like, we're not ready for what is to come. You're right. I'm not ready. I'm never going to be ready again, Denuser. I'm never going to be ready again for whatever the fuck you think is coming. The only thing I would say that would surprise me pleasantly is if next week they announce that you have been fired from Blizzard Entertainment. And all the Blizzard developers, you know, go on Twitter and say how nice it was to work with you, and I won't even say anything. I'll just keep quiet. But they can praise you and, you know, give you a little picture in front of the statue on your last day. But it would make me feel better if I know that you're fucking off from the company. Now, I don't think that's going to save WoW, because I think there are... The fact that anyone right now works in that narrative department and thinks that's a good place to work is telling, to say the very least. But then again, just this year, actually, I saw this today on Twitter. One of the lead producers or some shit for World of Warcraft posted for International Women's Day how much money he makes at the company, and he's sort of performance bonuses and things like that. And he claims that he got an 8K performance bonus because of how good he did his job and how satisfied they are with him doing his job. And I thought to myself, really? Bonuses for the World of Warcraft people? I would have let them work for free. Like, there would have been no bonuses for people who work on World of Warcraft. Those people don't deserve bonuses. Actually, the only people I would say that deserve some kind of bonus right now that work for Blizzard Entertainment is Taryn Gregory and the art department. That would be the only people that I think we could say, yeah, all right, you guys deserve your bonuses. You're still doing your utmost to carry this fucking game. Everyone else is just... They need to start explaining what the fuck they do there, because I don't know. I don't know what they do there. Sound, I can't give the sound department any highlights here or any sort of kudos in this one. Listen to this fucking voice and tell me, how do you say the Primus guys are doing a good job, or the sound guys are doing a good job?
Move you to this end. You preserve that which is doomed. A cosmos divided will not survive.
Why does he whisper? Why the fuck does he whisper?
What is to come?
So horrible. Yeah, the music guys are fine. The music guys are also fine. But all in all, F tier. Fucking F. Actually, I think it's an insult to F tiers to even say that this is F tier.
Unintentionally poetic. Everyone asking for answers. And the first verse of answers goes like this. I close my eyes. Tell us why must we suffer? Release your hands, for your will drags us under. My legs grow tired. Tell us where must we wander? How can we carry on, if redemption's beyond us?
Oh, I love that song. Mighty Random, thanks for the 50, dude. Really appreciate that. We have a couple of minutes left, like maybe 10 minutes left. I quickly want to I really want to listen to something here. This song, bro. This song fucking kills me, dude. Dude, I actually get emotional when I hear this song. Yeah, FF Music. Orb, you're very welcome. Thanks for the question. Yeah, we'll keep playing it. By the way, everything about this fucking music, once you play the game, hits you so fucking hard, dude.
To all of my children in whom life flows abundant.
This music, dude, fucking slays me. Alright, wait. Someone asked me to watch this instead. So you guys can see something as well. No, but this is just the cinematic. We've watched the cinematic. It's fine though. We still get to hear the music, which is all that matters. Dude, you don't have an idea. If you've not played this, this cinematic means nothing to you. But once you've played this, you have no idea. This cinematic hits so hard at the end of ARR. Next level hard at the end of ARR, dude. First time in my life that I've actually watched the cinematic after playing the game that was supposed to be after the cinematic, where the cinematic actually means more to me. shit gets good. Dude. Dude. Jesus, dude. How can it be so emotional? Dude, it is so, it hits you so fucking hard. Once you know this story, it hits you so hard. Especially now that I'm done with Heavensward, and so I won't spoil it for anyone, but now that I sort of know a little bit more about what a different Scion did, right, which is similar, it's even more impactful. And by the way, we're getting a graphic update. May I just point out, and yes, I say we because I am part of the Final Fantasy fucking club now. This is also my main game now. And we're actually getting a fucking graphical update. That's insane. That is insane. Not Yida. Not Yida. Flinderoinkies, how you doing? Zucchini, how you doing? Another 10 years of Yoshi P at the helm? Yes, please. Yes, please. I wish WoW could get their own version of a Yoshi P. A smile does better suit the hero. What's that Rose's quote again? What Minfilia always said? To where the rose hither to bloom or some shit like that. What's that quote again? Behemoth Fate. I can't remember. I'll go to Whether the Wild Rose Blooms. That's the one. Erengi, thank you very much. Ready? Yes, that's the one. This world truly is high fantasy as fuck. Sorry, I know we've watched this before, but Answers just gets to me every time. Answers is that song, but then again, the music in general for Final Fantasy XIV is so fucking on point. In times where they want you to get emotional, the music truly pulls that out of you. And sometimes just with the use of a couple of notes. It's not even always like full-on fucking answer level music. Sometimes just a couple of notes that's playing over and over sets the tone for what you're about to experience. In the fights, the music fucking slaps, bro. Like, fight music in Final Fantasy is next level. It hypes you to fuck. Like, you're already a little hyped for the fight that you're about to do. But it's gonna get better because of what you're experiencing with the music. Namwat, by the way, thanks for the tier 1 sub. Did really appreciate that. 43 months in a row. Bastard. I'm pretty sure you are the longest subbed person to this channel ever. I really appreciate that, Namwad. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Boss battle themes? I'm looking forward to everything. Like they said in a stream, they know when to use that e-guitar. Soken is just a god when it comes to music. Soken is insane. Greg and Geeks. He truly is. But look, if there's one takeaway, if there's one thing that you can take away from Final Fantasy XIV, is every portion, every part, every stone, every pixel, every sound effect, every dialogue, every letter is placed there with purpose and with care and with love and with a reason. Every single thing that they do in that game has a reason. There's something that drives. There's almost never dialogue that is completely useless and wastes your time except for the Mandible Man stuff. But that's not useless. It's just funny and really fucking crazy. But except for the Hildebrand stuff, which is basically just the most horrendous sitcom you could ever fucking play. Everything else is so, I'd say, almost carefully approached. They don't overuse anything in the game. There are no themes that start to feel old and a little bit outplayed. Horrendous in this instance, I use is a very good thing. It's so over-the-top ridiculous that it actually comes back around. You know those B movies, like B-rated movies, that's so bad, it actually circles back around to pretty good? That's sort of Hildebrand. It's so fucking bad and stupid and quirky and just ridiculous that you can't help but enjoy it. And it's sort of because they wanted it to be that thing. You know, that's what they wanted it to be. They wanted it to be this sort of over-the-top horrible thing, which is so much fun. But that's why Final Fantasy slaps. It's why it works, is because they don't rush anything. Nothing is put into anything that shouldn't be there. Arangi, I'm not going to have time to watch that now, but I will do. Please link it to me on Discord. By the way, if there's anything that you want me to watch or react to, you can do so on Discord in the content suggestions tab. That's where I usually get all of my reactions from. Started as name testing. Yes. Melon Slapper, that's exactly why it started. People told me that as well. Hildebrand was a way for them to test facial expressions, and it worked. And now they just keep adding to it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I am sad to say then I'm going to have to love and leave you. Sadly, my power is about to go out. And, yeah. This is the, shall we say, reality for at least the next week. They did say that we're going to return, like, load shedding will probably end on Monday. So let's hope that that is true. If history is anything to go by, load shedding will not end on Monday. Load shedding will probably keep going for another 2 weeks or so. But one can hope. You know, one can hope. I will be back tomorrow. We have about 4 hours tomorrow that we can stream together. So I'm going to try and do the 4 hours tomorrow. Hopefully nothing fucks out or breaks out or whatever might happen. And for those of you that isn't sure what's going on right now, what's going on is my country doesn't have enough power. And that means that they have to cut half of the country for 2.5 hours, and then another half of the country for 2.5 hours, and then another part of the country for 2.5 hours. So they basically cut people's power for 2.5 hours so that they can ensure that the grid doesn't just have a complete meltdown. So that's what's happening right now. Sucks, but what can I do? So yeah, I will see all of you tomorrow. I really appreciate each and one of you coming out. Tomorrow we'll probably do just chatting for about an hour, and then we'll see if we have some time to play a bit of Final Fantasy. I'm gonna try this week with Final Fantasy, but don't get your hopes up. I don't like rushing whenever I want to play some games. I don't like rushing that shit. And with load shedding, I usually have to rush it because we only have a small amount of time every evening to stream in. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you so much for spending your morning, your evening, or your afternoon with me. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. Please be kind to each other, be good to each other, and I will see all of you in the next one. Peace out, fam.